Well, first off, I just want to thank you for being here. You could be many other places, and you're here. So I really appreciate your time and showing up and allowing us to connect with you. So thank you. So Debby Leavell, thank you so much for joining us. And let's dive right in. I think a good place to start sometimes, I find, is to really get us into stretching ourselves inside of what's possible. And this whole call revolves around what is possible if everybody in the world had the coach of their choice. What do you see?
Oh, I see a world of endless possibilities. I truly believe that we all have untapped potential.
Mm.
And we have a lot of people walking around this world working jobs because they need money. They've got bills. It's our part of our lifestyle and our culture to work. But not very many people get to work in a place of employment that matches their vision and their purpose. And I believe life coaches help people find that, help them discover that for themselves and truly untap that potential.
Absolutely. Yes. So well said. Yeah. What an amazing world when everybody's lined up with an employer or a team or, a mission that they can just totally get behind, right? Like that is the world. That's exactly who I am, is like, let's give access to that. So yeah, let's talk about coaching. Like how did you get into coaching? Why are you a coach? What's that about for you?
Yeah. Well, boy, I go way back with coaching. I've been in the health and fitness industry for over 22 years. And I can remember as a young mom walking in the halls of the YMCA and just truly discovering a place of belonging and acceptance and feeling safe to grow as a person. So my early career started at the YMCA, really honing in on self-confidence, self-efficacy, and just discovering kind of myself along the way. So I discovered early on how it felt to help other people find that as well. You'd see that aha moment when the lights go on and they realize that to truly love yourself is through practicing self-care and making that mindset change of viewing healthy food and exercise as punishment to shifting to self-care and loving yourself. So that was early discovery for me. Then I started working with at-risk youth, kind of as my career kind of worked its way through the ranks of the YMCA. I started working with at-risk youth, and I knew that I wanted to bring life coaching back to the YMCA because I realized there was not a lot of social services available for youth who are aging out of foster care or just dealing with issues. And so I went to college at the age of 38 to get a degree in social work. But life, threw some curveballs at me, and I took a different career path about 3 years into my college experience and went into clinical research thinking that I wanted to kind of get a splash in the medical field.
Mm.
I did that for 3 years and I was very miserable. I just didn't like the corporate structure. I didn't like the fact that I wasn't really helping people one-on-one. I was really just part of a system to perfect medication. And I got lucky and got laid off when our economy crashed. And I went back into health and fitness, worked for the Muckleshoot tribe, and again, kind of practicing that life coaching model through fitness.
Mm.
Then my life took another curve where my husband passed away in 2013, and I knew then that my life was going to take a different path. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I went back to the YMCA and tried it again, working as a coach, health and fitness, but the work-life balance wasn't there for me. So now we're coming to the end of my circle here. I promise you we're getting there.
But
I just took a jump and started working for WorkSource as an employment practitioner. And I was actually employed by a small nonprofit where I helped individuals find work, get back to work. Either they were dislocated workers or they were displaced homemakers, veterans, low-income individuals, helping them get back to work. And then about a year later, I was offered the opportunity to be a life coach in that setting. So now I'm working as a life coach under the umbrella of WorkSource, which is a one-stop agency. We partner with Employment Security Department, DSHS, DBR, all of these agencies here in my county to help individuals get back into the workplace. And I'm doing the first pilot study of life coaching here. It's not really a pilot study, but it's a new directive that the county's taking to help individuals who don't have GED or diplomas, helping kind of reduce the amount of people that are unemployed that don't have those credentials and reduce low income. So yes, here I am life coaching, and I'm loving every minute of it because, as I mentioned in the very beginning of our call, a lot of us aren't able to work in a place where it doesn't match our vision or our purpose. And here I am really working, doing something that matches exactly that. This is my vocational calling, and it's been a great experience thus far.
Love it. Love that the government is supporting you as a life coach to support other people. Like, that's the word we're working for. Yes.
Get any better than that, right?
Yeah, totally. No, you're on the front lines, and really I just want to acknowledge you for being that for people. And that's just really what there is like pushing that front line, making sure people have more and more opportunity to be around people like you. So, and getting the word out such that there's a demand for you, right? So thank you. Let me ask you, around your clientele, what are some of the struggles, challenges they're facing? Like, how would I know, like, you know what, that's exactly who I am, and Debbie might be a good fit for me. Like, who is that person?
Sure. Typically, I see a lot of people struggling with self-efficacy mostly, or low confidence. What we're seeing a lot in the workforce development area is mature workers being laid off after long time careers, or their job, the jobs are being outsourced. And so people with high-end careers, but maybe it's been 20, 30 years since they got their initial credentials, are now out of the workforce, and it's really throwing them for a loop. So they're not able to pay their bills, even though they do have education and a lot of work experience, but they're being outsourced and they're being outplaced in the market. The other clientele I see are just people who have been long-term unemployed. And so they've kind of lost that grit and resiliency and confidence to just go back into the workplace. A lot of trauma involved in this, whether you've been a high functioning executive, now, displaced and dislocated from the workforce, or somebody that's just been perpetually laid off over and over again and facing homelessness and low income and all of those things. There's so much trauma involved in that, and they're not able to make decisions and move forward. So they're just stuck. And that's, in a nutshell, what happens. They're stuck in a rut. They can't move forward. They can't stay focused. And they just need somebody to help them get out of that and see the big picture.
Well, tell us about, and what are some of the things when they work with you? You can give us a little bit about your methodology, but ultimately, what's the results? They're what happens when working with a coach like you?
Sure. Sometimes we look at things like needs and wants. Sometimes you get so hyper-focused on just being knocked down that you forget that there's a difference between basic needs and then needs after the basic needs and then wants, and how to align those with your vision and purpose. So if you say you have to go to work, but you also have a 4 and 5-year-old and one is sick, and you're like, I don't know what to do next. Do I quit my job to take my son to the doctor? So making those decisions become very difficult. And so the making those priorities of needs and wants helps them to see, okay, how do I prioritize this, and then move down the list and take care of needs first and then wants. So that's an exercise. Another exercise is kind of the wheel of life. So you have a circle, and you have health, you have work, you have spirituality, all of those different categories, and you ask people where they are on that wheel, and you draw a line in the center or wherever it is in that little pie, slice of pie, so to speak, or wedge, and then you have them answer the question, how can you move yourself to the outside of that line?
Mm,
um, you're not telling them what they need. They're able to discover for themselves, oh, I need to do this to get a higher score in spirituality, or a higher score in work-life balance, or a higher score in working in the career that I feel the most productive in. So it's
mm,
just very individualized, but very much through self-discovery and asking, really tough questions, but giving them the space and an environment that they feel they can trust you in,
mm,
and letting them answer those questions for themselves.
mm, Debbie, just I'll tell you, I got moved by like what you're doing day by day, because every human needs that. Like that's what we all need. We need that person in that space that we can like be asked that hard question, because by default, we're humans, we're gonna skirt it, we're gonna run around it, we're gonna avoid it. We're not gonna ask ourselves those questions. And so thank you. Thank you for doing the dirty work and the hard work, but like that's what everybody's wanting, and that's why everybody deserves a coach.
Right.
Totally.
And somebody asked me, what is a life coach? I said, well, imagine having your best friend with you all day long in your back pocket, and you can just pull them out whenever you need somebody to bounce questions off of, and just do some what's the word I'm thinking, just some thinking, actually just think, and work through the solutions, because we all have the answers within us, but we're
Mm,
just sometimes too afraid to try it out. And
yeah.
a life going to be your cheerleader. They're going to be the one that believes in you and hold your vision for you while you work out all those little problems.
Yes, so well said. Love that. Tell us, where can we find you? If we want to employ you as our coach, we want you to partner with us, where do we find you?
Sure. Right now, I work at WorkSource, so I can help customers that come through the door there. I'm also on LinkedIn. I would just like to see me offline, see me on LinkedIn.
Well, I just want to acknowledge you, Debbie, for being the coach in the space where dreams are actually fulfilled. And I'd say just a space where people can breathe and be themselves. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining us. It was just such a pleasure. I haven't been moved in one of these, interviews in some time. So that was a treat. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time as well, and look forward to working with you again.